Hello everyone, if you're new here, welcome. My name is Keisha and today I'm going to be talking about 20 books that I have hauled over the past few months. So I think it's been January since I did my last book haul and it is currently the end of March, so I wanted to go through some of the books that I'd accumulated lately. I'm trying not to buy as many books as quickly this year just to kind of read what's on my shelves, but I did do a book outlet haul after Let's Get Graphic, so I've got quite a few graphic novels here. I've also become a fan of a pretty big fandom, and so I've hauled some books there as well as some other miscellaneous things. But before we get started on the books, I did want to show you guys my new book sleeve. So this is from Rachel from Happy Go Lovely Sleeves Cozy Collection, and I am obsessed with this patchwork quilt look. This is a cozy size, so it fits a cozy mystery. So for example, let me just grab one. So this is a cozy mystery. It can also fit like your Kindle or anything else. So I am obsessed with this. It is so cute, and I knew I had to have this pattern for my cozy mysteries. So I made sure to snag it from Rachel's shop. Again, that is Happy Go Lovely Sleeves. So I wanted to mention this because it is book related and I'm obsessed with it. So if you guys want to shop from Happy Go Lovely Sleeves, I do have a discount code and it is Keisha20 for 20% off your order. Also, this video is not sponsored. I just love Rachel, so I wanted to shout her out and show you guys my new book sleeve. Moving on, let's go ahead and jump into the book. So I'm gonna start out with the fandom that I'm currently obsessed with. So some of you guys may have seen that I have been vlogging my experience reading Sarah J Maas's A Court of Thorns and Roses series, and I've really enjoyed my experience with these fantasy novels. I am not a huge fantasy reader, but for some reason I think I am now, and I'm not questioning it. I'm really enjoying my experience reading her books. Her writing is impeccable, and I have just been quite literally thrown into a world that is hard to escape because as I'm trying to move on and read other things, I cannot stop thinking about Prythian and these characters. So I did end up, after finishing the first two books and starting the third, I did end up buying the box set. This is the hardcover, very heavy box set of the A Court of Thorns and Roses series. So we have A Court of Thorns and Roses, A Court of Mist and Fury, A Court of Winds and Ruin, A Court of Frost and Starlight, which will be the next one that I pick up, and then A Court of Silver Flames. I'm not going to take these out of the box because that's going to be a chore, but I feel like most of you guys are familiar with the series. It is just a fae, fantasy, romance, war, also, I don't know, it's fantasy. I mean, you guys know what I'm talking about. So I got these, and I am planning on getting new dust jackets eventually as well, but the ones I want are a little bit expensive, so we're just going to have to wait on that. But I also ended up getting another book from Sarah J Maas, and I'm very excited. So this is Throne of Glass. Again, another popular series by this author. I did not get the box set with this one because I want to make sure that I enjoy the first one before I invest. So I'll probably just get these one at a time. I also really love the new cover design for these, so I had to pick those up. I know some people don't like them, but I don't know. I think in comparison to the other ones that I've seen, I really like these. So I don't know a lot about this story, just that it is about an assassin and she has to go through these trials or whatever. I don't really know, but it sounds good to me, and I've really enjoyed Sarah J Maas. So again, I think this is a pretty popular series. You've probably seen it around. So that is my Sarah J Maas haul. Next up, I had a pretty random haul. I was just grocery shopping at Walmart one day and I browsed the books, and it was just one of those times where I felt like I needed to buy one. There has been one book in particular that I've had my eyes on for a little bit, or this series, and I have not really known if I was going to enjoy it or not because it's been tagged as being pretty smutty. But 2023 Keisha is reading lots of new things and enjoying lots of things that she did not enjoy in the past. I don't know what that's about. Again, I'm not going to question it. I'm just enjoying this mood reader, new reader ride that I'm on. So with that being said, I got The Fine Print by Lauren Asher. Some of you guys' jaws are probably on the floor right now, like, Keisha, you don't need to read that. That is really smutty and you're probably not gonna like it. And I know, I've been told that I probably will not like this, but I've also been told that I probably wouldn't like a lot of things that I've ended up enjoying. So I have this new mindset about reading that is like, never say never. So I have said that I would never read Sarah J Maas or Colleen Hoover, and I love the books that I've read from them. So I'm going to try Lauren Asher. This is the Dreamland Billionaire series. It is the first book in a trilogy about these guys who, I think their father or their grandfather, I can't even remember. I'm not sure. It doesn't say on the back, or at least not that I can find, but it's either the father or their grandfather owns these theme parks. And so each of the books follows a different brother, and they have to do these certain tasks in order to inherit their share of the theme park. So each of them has a different type of romance trope and different things like that. This one follows Rowan and Zara, and I'm not really sure what the trope is in this one. Again, I'm kind of going in blind, and I feel like that's the best thing for me to do. That's what I've done with the other books that I wasn't sure about, and it ended up being a good thing. So this is definitely what I'm excited about, and hopefully we'll read next month. Next, I have a couple of gifts from my friend Olivia from Liv's Library. So back in, I think it was the beginning of March, yeah, when Gwen, Elizabeth, and I were hosting the Let's Get Graphic Readathon, Liv had read this graphic novel that she said really resonated with her and thought that it would really speak to me as well. So she ended up getting it for me, and that is Everything Is Okay by Tung. So this is more of a comic strip style graphic novel, but there are so many things in here, so many just panels that really did resonate with me as someone who struggles with anxiety and depression. And honestly, like, I sobbed at different parts because it's crazy how something so simplistic in nature, like a comic strip, can really hit your heart. But this for sure did that. And yeah, so Tung, you may know her from Quiet Girl in a Noisy World. I also read another one of her comic books, which is called Book Love, and I adored that. So I'm really happy to own this one. Thank you so much, Liv, for sending this my way. It definitely hit me and tugged at my heartstrings. And then she also sent me another book as a congratulations for starting my new job. So if you guys missed it, I did mention in my last vlog that I have started a new position at my university that I work at. I'm going to be a record specialist now, but I also get to teach some college orientation type classes and also get to be a little bit of a part-time online librarian, just answering some like chat queries and stuff like that. So yeah, as a congratulations for that, again, Liv sent me The Minuscule Mansion of Myra Malone by Audrey Burges. So I'm really excited about this book. This is one that Liv and I have both talked about and been equally excited about. We talked about buddy reading it, but we haven't gotten around to it yet, and it is currently one of her book club choices for her Patreon. I don't think it's quite gonna win out, but if it doesn't, she sent this to me. That way I would have it and she would have it. So if we did want to buddy read it soon, then we would both own it. And I'm very excited for this. It's a pretty unique story. It's about this woman that lives in Arizona. She's 34 years old, and she blogs about this dollhouse minuscule mansion that she has, and it has captivated readers worldwide. So her stories have stretched so far that they have stretched to Virginia, where this couple has asked Alex Rakes, who owns this furniture business, to recreate a room from this mansion. Well, when Alex sees the pictures, he realizes that this is his childhood home in minuscule form. So it's really interesting how they come together in the story, because Myra is dealing with the rooms in the mansion disappearing and appearing overnight, and music playing in its corridors. Then Alex comes into the pictures because obviously this is his childhood home and he's wondering how this happened. And this home of his was handed down from the grandmother who disappeared mysteriously when Alex was a child. So there's a lot weaved into this. I think it's gonna be a little bit historical, a little bit of a mystery, and I'm not really sure like all the genres that are involved in this, but it definitely sounds intriguing and like nothing I have read before. Lastly, I want to move into my book outlet haul. So earlier this month, I did a book shopping with me live stream, which was so much fun. If you guys enjoyed that, be sure to let me know down in the comments, and I will do one again in the future. Not too regularly because I do need to save my money, but every now and then I think it'd be really fun to do a book outlet haul and book shop with you guys when I'm looking for some things that they have available. So really what stirred this up in me was Let's Get Graphic Readathon, again, that Gwen, myself, and Elizabeth hosted earlier in March. And I found out that Book Outlet has a lot of really amazing graphic novel options. So that is what kind of drew me to go book shopping there. I have shopped with Book Outlet before. I do have a referral code down in the description box if you'd like to use that to get a percentage off your first order. You do have to not currently have an account with them in order to get that discount, but if you've never shopped with them before and would be interested, they are like basically overstocked books that this company gets, and so they're basically brand new. Some of them might have like a small flaw. Usually they will come with like a little mark on the like pages or something like that. But honestly, you get really great books for pretty cheap prices. So can't beat that. So since graphic novels were the draw to this for me, let me go ahead and start with those. So the first one I got is more of a comic, and this one is What's Up Beanie, a cutely relatable comic by Alina Tysoe. So this was very much inspired by Rachel from Happy Go Lovely Sleeves. She read this during Let's Get Graphic and absolutely loved and raved about it and said that everybody needs to own and read this book. So I was so happy to find it on Book Outlet. I don't know anything about it except that it is cutely relatable comics, and the art style in this is absolutely adorable. I can't wait to read it and just see what it's about. So thank you, Rachel, for bringing this to my attention. The next book I have is one that I actually read for Let's Get Graphic, and I loved it so much that I wanted to own it. This is one of those that kind of just came out of nowhere and surprised me. I really wasn't sure about it for the longest time, and I just picked it up on a whim and loved it. That is Pawcasso by Remy Lai. This is such a cute story about this little dog that gets named Pawcasso, and Pawcasso goes into town every day to grocery shop for his family and run errands and everything. And one day, Jo ends up seeing this dog pass her window. So she goes to see where this dog's going, what he's getting up to. And she ends up following him into this, like, I don't know, I think it's a bookstore, not a library, but she follows him in there. And there's an art class going on where the kids are painting Pawcasso themed artwork. And so she tells them that this is her dog and it's Pawcasso. So she ends up having to keep up this act that this is actually her dog. And it's just, I don't know how to describe it because initially it doesn't sound all that intriguing, but it is such a cute story, and it allows Jo to make some friends and impact the community. And yeah, it's just really adorable. But obviously at some point or another, Jo ends up wondering how long she can keep up this act. So yeah, I even teared up at the end of this one. I'm not gonna tell you guys why, but you definitely should check it out if you haven't already. Next, I picked up Cat's Cradle, The Golden Twine by Rioux. I have read one other graphic novel by this author. It was called The Daughters of East, and it wasn't my favorite, but I thought it was good enough to pick up more from this author. And this is one that had been on my Amazon wish list for a really long time. It is a spooky middle grade-esque type graphic novel about this main character. Her name is Suri, and she loves monsters. She loves to study their lore, tell stories about them, and she hopes to one day tame them. But she is an orphan street urchin who travels with a merchant company. She is not really taken very seriously in this role, but she has a lot of self-confidence, cleverness, and ambition. And one day, this mysterious new wagon joins her caravan camp, and she thinks there may be a monster inside. So that is kind of the premise of this story. This is a little glimpse of what the artwork looks like. I'm very excited to read this one. It just sounds like it's gonna be really good. And look at how the colors shift here. I love that so much. So I think there's going to be another one. It looks like Cat's Cradle, The Mole King's Lair is the next book in the series. I'm not sure if it's out yet, but I've been really intrigued to pick this one up. So I'm excited to finally have it in my collection. Next up, I picked up a couple of graphic novels based on the recommendation of Zoe from Zoe Delaney. I am so excited to read these. I had never heard of these before. Zoe mentioned them, so I was really excited to learn about some new graphic novels during this readathon. That is one thing that this readathon did that I just was totally not expecting, because I feel like I'm pretty well versed in graphic novels. I've read a lot of them, and if I haven't read them, I've at least heard of them. But these were like, I'd never heard from before. So Zoe, you're incredible for finding like these hidden gems. I'm so excited to read them. The first one is The Runaway Princess by Johan, I'm gonna butcher this name, Johan Troianowski, maybe? This looks so cute. Look at that little princess. I don't even know what this is about, but the artwork in this is so vibrant. I love the colors. Oh, this is like a giant pumpkin. So that kind of reminds me of fall. I don't know anything about it, but it just looks amazing. It says, Robin, Robin, where are you? She couldn't have gone far, right? Princesses don't run away to have their own adventures. Princesses stay quietly and obediently at home. They would never want mermaids and swamps and pirates and getting lost to be a part of their lives. Not this princess. So basically, this is a runaway princess that gets into a little bit of trouble and goes on some adventures. It sounds adorable, and I'm so excited to read this one. Then I have another book that Zoe mentioned called Sea Siren, a Trot and Captain Bill adventure by Amy Chu and Janet K. Lee. This one has a very unique art style. I love it so much. And also there's a cute little cat on the cover. And yeah, it just looks like a really fun time. This one says, Trot, a spunky Vietnamese American surfer girl, lives to ride the waves. When she heads for the beach, she always brings along her board buddy, Captain Bill, the one-eyed, cantankerous cat she rescued. One afternoon, when Trot has been grounded by her mom, she and her feline sneak off. Just a few rides, Trot assures Bill. Then the two of them wipe out on too big a wave. Girl and cat plunge down into a fantasy world of oceanic marvels. They are surrounded by lovely sea sirens who are curious about these creatures from above. Trot is astonished to find she can breathe underwater and even more amazed to hear Captain Bill talk. Oh my gosh, a talking cat. Are you kidding me? And that's just the beginning. Even greater wonders await in the beautiful underwater kingdom ruled by the sirens, which they have to defend against slithery serpents. Trot and Captain Bill soon become dangerously entangled in a war of tails and fins. And then there's her biggest fear. Will she and her cat ever surface? Oh my goodness. Look at this. So this looks like when she crashed like with the waves. And then you have, oh my goodness, look at this. The artwork in here is really different, more hard lines than what I'm used to, but it also looks really interesting and beautiful. So I'm so excited to check this one out. Again, these were both recommended by Zoe, so I'm so glad to have found some new graphic novels to try out. Then I have two more. One of them was recommended by Jessie from Reading with Jess. And again, she had never read a ton of graphic novels before this. She read this one and really loved it, so I had to pick it up. This one is called Batter Royale by Leslie Adams. I'm really excited to read this one too. It looks like it's going to be the Great British Bake Off meets Check Please in this tale of sugary hijinks, fresh romance, and spicy competition. That is all I want to know about this one going in. The artwork is very beautiful and vibrant in this one as well, and it's going to have this baking competition element as well as a romance, which just sounds so cute and right up my alley. It is a young adult romance, and I'm really excited to read this one because I haven't really read, I don't know if I've read any, because most of what I read is middle grade. I'm like, have I read any romance? Yeah, I have. I've read a couple of romance graphic novels, but I think this is going to be really fun. So thank you, Jessie, for telling me about this one. And the last graphic novel that I have hauled is Paws, Gabby Gets It Together by Michele wow, that is a very long name. I'm not quite sure how to pronounce that, so I'm going to skip that. And Nathan Fairbairn, I apologize. But I want you guys to take a real close look at this cover and tell me why you think I picked it up. If you don't know, you should. There's a dachshund on the cover, and she doesn't look exactly, or he, I don't really know. Yeah, but this dachshund doesn't look exactly like my Jovi, but it's a dachshund, so I had to pick it up. And I don't really know what this is about either, but it is the first book in a series about this girl who I think has a dog walking business. It says, meet best friends Gabby, Priya, and Mindy. They are different in just about every way. Personalities, hobbies, families, and more, but they have two important things in common. They absolutely love animals, and for reasons that are as varied as the girls themselves, none of them can actually have any pets. Unable to resist the adorable temptation any longer, they decide to come up with a way to finally get their hands on some furry friends. And as luck would have it, it seems like their neighborhood is in need of some after-school dog walkers. So just like that, Paws is born. But it turns out that running a business is much harder than it looks, especially with three co-owners who are such different people. When their disagreements ultimately lead to a doggo crisis, will it tear their business and friendship apart, or will they be able to get it together and save the day? Does that not just sound adorable? Oh my gosh, I feel like I'm gonna love this one. Look at those poor little animals who got hurt. Oh my gosh, this just looks adorable. I cannot wait to read this. Oh my goodness, just look at the artwork. So hopefully this will be another series that I fall in love with. Okay, I have 4 more books here that I got from Book Outlet. So I had 2 spooky middle grade books that I picked up. One of them I had never really heard of before, but had seen around like more recently, and it is called Let the Monster Out by Chad Lucas. This cover looks absolutely terrifying. Look at this creepy like creature person, whatever it is, up in that broken glass. This looks a little bit techie and sci-fi. There's different images in this broken glass. There's also blood. There's waves coming up over a city in this one. There's a bear here. This looks like a microchip type thing. I don't know. This looks super intriguing. So again, I don't know what this one's about. It says strange shared dreams, a mysterious scientist journal, and a summer these boys will never be able to forget. Somewhere I saw that if you like Stranger Things, you might like this too. So this says, Bones Malone feels like he can't do anything right in his new small town. He almost punched the son of the woman who babysits him and his brothers. He's one of the only black kids in Leisl, and now his baseball team, the one place he really feels like he shines, just lost their first game. To make matters worse, things are getting weird. His mom isn't acting like herself. She's totally spaced out, almost like a zombie. And then he and his brothers have started to have the exact same dreams. Kyle Specs feels like he never knew what to say to people. He thinks he might be neurodivergent, but he hasn't gotten an official diagnosis yet. Oh my gosh, there's going to be representation in this, and I love that. His parents try their best to protect him, but Kyle knows they can't do that forever. Even though he's scared, he can't just stand by and do nothing while things in town get worse, especially not after he and Bones find a scientist journal that might crack the mystery wide open. But when faced with seemingly impossible situations and their own worst nightmares, will Kyle and Bones be able to find answers before it's too late, or will fear totally consume and control them? This sounds so interesting and unique. I'm very intrigued by this. Again, I have not really seen this around or heard anybody talk about it, so hopefully I will be able to get to it soon and see what it's about. And the next and last spooky middle grade that I got is Field Guide to the Supernatural Universe by Allison Noel. This was one of my most anticipated spooky middle grade books of last year. It has, again, been on my Amazon wish list for quite a long time, and I hadn't been able to get it until now, and it was on Book Outlet. So I'm very excited about this one. I am obsessed with that cover. So yeah, I'm very intrigued by this one. It says, when he first started seeing ghosts, Max Woodbead Smith assumed that other people must see them too. Now at the end of 6th grade, Max knows better and keeps the visions to himself. Max's mission, appear normal. But when Max arrives at Woodbead Mansion to spend the summer in the town of Glimmerville with his eccentric grandfather, Ramhart Woodbead, he can't ignore the world of spirits. Here in a town shrouded in a constant fog, Paws are enchanted and ghosts roam free. Goodbye normal. After a supernatural storm hits and captures Ramhart's soul, Max, with the help of a few new friends, has to go on a quest to find his grandfather's field guide, an enchanted book that contains the key to defeating an unearthly nemesis. And they better find it fast before Ramhart's soul is gone for good. This sounds so stinking good. Oh my gosh. I'm obsessed with that. So definitely excited for this one. Okay, and the last two books I got are a little bit random. So one of them is a Christian nonfiction by an author that I have read and loved before. This is Rhythms of Renewal, Trading Stress and Anxiety for a Life of Peace and Purpose by Rebecca Lines. Also, this cover is absolutely beautiful. So this is Rebecca Lines. I've actually heard her speak before, got to meet her, and read her other book called You Are Free, Be Who You Already Are. It is one of my favorite Christian nonfiction. You guys probably don't hear me talk a lot about Christian nonfiction books because I don't read as many as I used to since I've kind of dove into the world of fiction novels, but every now and then I will haul one, and this is one that I felt like I really needed at this season in my life. You guys have heard me mention recently on my channel that I have been going through a mental health journey with depression and anxiety. A lot of it is seasonal, but some of it is situational as well. And also some of it is a little bit just of hormonal chemical imbalance type deals. So it's a lot of different things, but I felt like this would be a good book for this season in my life. And again, this is by an author that I have really enjoyed in the past. So I was really excited to pick this one up. It says, you can be rescued daily from worry, stress, and anxiety. So in this book, there are 4 life-giving rhythms: rest, restore, connect, and create. It says you'll discover how to take charge of your emotional health and inspire your loved ones to do the same. Overcome anxiety by establishing daily habits that keep you mentally and physically strong. Find joy through restored relationships in your family and community, and walk in confidence with the unique gifts you have to offer the world. So very excited to get to this one hopefully soon. And the last book that I have is in a genre that I typically read a lot of, but I feel like it's been forever since I picked one up, and that is thrillers. This one is The Couplet No. 9 by Claire Douglas. This has been a book that I've been very intrigued by for quite a while now, but I just haven't hauled it yet, and it was on Book Outlet, so your girl had to pick it up. This is a super spooky cover with this really ominous looking house with this light on, and then I got the book and I noticed there's a little silhouette of a creepy guy or figure, I don't really know, standing right there. So I'm gonna read you guys the synopsis of this one because I feel like it is one of the best synopses, and I need to do it justice by reading this because I would not be able to intrigue you as much as this synopsis probably. So it says, the victims. When pregnant Saffron Cutler moves into non-skeleton place with her boyfriend Tom and sets about with renovations, the last thing she expects is builders uncovering human remains. The remains of 2 bodies, in fact. The investigation. Forensics indicates the bodies have been buried for at least 30 years. Safi has nothing to worry about until the police launch a murder inquiry and ask to speak to the cottage's former owner, her grandmother, Rose. The witness. Rose is in a nursing home and her advancing Alzheimer's is making her increasingly confused. She can't help the police, but it's clear she remembers something. Y'all, I'm so excited about this. The killer. As Rose's fragmented memories resurface and the police dig even deeper, Safi fears she and the cottage are being watched. The truth? What happened 30 years ago? Why did no one miss the victims? What part did her grandmother play? And is Safi now in danger? I have not been this excited about a thriller synopsis in quite some time. This just sounds like all of those elements are super intriguing to me. Like, you've got uncovering dead bodies in a home that you just moved into. Your grandmother might be involved or know something about it, but do you really, like, are you able to trust her, or do you think she remembers what happened or not, with her being in a nursing home and having Alzheimer's? You've got this stalker situation where somebody's watching the house. Like, what is going on? Seriously, I need to read this soon. I really do, because my excitement for this is at an all-time high. And there you have it, friends. That is all of the books that I have hauled over the past couple of months. So there's about 20 books here. Hopefully you heard about some new books that you haven't heard of before, and maybe were able to add some to your wish list. If you have read any of these books, let me know down in the comments which ones you've read and enjoyed, or which ones you would be most excited to see me read sooner rather than later. And yeah, I appreciate you guys as always. Thank you for watching. I love you all so much, and I will see you in my next video. Bye, friends.